Government will use supply side policy to increase efficiency for firms. When we talk about efficiency, to make them get better, to improve their output. So how do government go about this? How do government go about this? They can use privatization. What is privatization? This is the transfer of government-owned property to the control of private firms and individuals. Government, state-owned businesses, government-owned businesses will be transferred to private investors or private businesses or private sector for efficiency. We already know that traditionally, government parastatals, government companies or businesses are not always run efficiently. Yes or no? Workers will come late to work. Some will even be absent. So all these things put together will lead to inefficiency for them. So government, for them to increase efficiency, they might just take away control. They might leave the control to the hands of private individuals who will think about profit maximization. Government parastatals, government enterprises, government businesses do not see profit as an objective. They only want to take care of the society. They only want to provide services for the society at affordable prices. But for private firms, profit maximization is an incentive for them. As a result of that, they will be more efficient. They know if they are efficient, consumers will buy. Is it clear? So transfer of private-owned or state-owned property to the hands of private investors or private businesses is what we call privatization. So this is a supply-side policy that government could use to improve the economy. Is it clear? 2, improve training and education. Let's look at training and education. What does that imply? Training will improve your skills. Education will make you to know better, will give you knowledge. Yes or no? So skills and knowledge will always improve the society. Stop that and concentrate. Skills and knowledge will improve the society. Yes or no? Yes. So that's what we're talking about, improve training and education. So government will try to improve the training and education of the society, of the people, so that the workforce will become more skilled, more better, and well improved. Because if there's education and training, you get better, I get better, everybody gets better. So whatever work you want to do, you will do it in a better way. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Yeah. The third one, increase competition in all industries. This could be done by reducing government controls over industry or by going against monopolies. You know, we already know what a monopoly is. Yeah. Producer, or just one producer in the society, producing that goods and services. So, what do government do? Government will break monopolies. Government will stop monopoly so that it becomes a perfect market, so that everybody can produce, even homogeneous products. So that's one way in which government can use supply side policy to improve the society, breaking monopoly. Also, taking hands off businesses. You know, there are government businesses, you know. Government do businesses too, right? So government will stop doing those businesses and leave it for private investors or private individuals. Do we understand? So these are the 3 ways in which government use supply side policy to correct, to manipulate, to influence the economy. Any question about it? Great. Now we go to how businesses might react to changes in economic policy. What are these economic policies? We're talking about supply side policy, fiscal policy, and supply and monetary policy. So when these things happen, how do businesses react to these changes? That's what we need to talk about now. Are you with me? First, government policy. Government policy change, increase in income tax. An increase in income tax is a change in government policy, which means fiscal policy of tax has increased, right? So what happens? Possible business decision. Businesses will have to take decisions. Managers will need to take decisions. What decision will the manager take? Lower prices on existing products to increase demand. Because there's an increase in income tax, it means disposable income will fall. The spending power of individuals will fall. Yes or no? So what will businesses do? Businesses could reduce the prices of what they sell so that you can buy, I can buy. Do you understand? Government has taken a decision. Government has made a decision to increase the income tax. An increase in income tax will mean that I don't have so much money to buy what I used to buy. Yes or no? So for the business, they have to react to the market. So what do? They try to reduce the price. So when they reduce the price, I will still be able to afford it the way I used to afford it before. Do you understand? Do we get it, please?
Yeah.
But when you have to do this, it has to be on existing products, not a new product that the taxes has also affected you. So the products you have on the market that are still there, you can reduce the price, you can lower the price, so that those consumers that they've witnessed increase in income tax could still buy them. Do we understand? Yes. 2, produce cheaper products to allow for lower prices. You can also start producing products that are inferior. You know inferior products, right? Products that are not that expensive. So that consumers can still buy. But what are the consequences of this? So if these things happen, what will happen? Problems with this decision, that's the consequence. We are talking about an increase in income tax. Businesses will take decisions. They are going to take 2 decisions here. We talked about a lower price. Stop that, please. We talked about a lower price and a cheaper product, right? Yes. These are the decisions of the government, of the business. What are the consequences of this decision? 1, less profit will be made on each item sold. Because the price of what you sell has fallen, the profit you make will be what? Will be less. Yes or no?
Yeah.
The second problem is that you selling cheap products, it might damage your brand. Oh, business A, it's inferior products. Because you want to sell, you resulted in selling a cheap product. So customers might not like it. Because cheap products are not always with quality. Do you understand this? Because you have reduced the quality of what you produce as a result of you wanting to sell at a lower price could damage your brand. Is it clear? Yes. The second change, government policy change, increase interest rates. If government increase the interest rates, what decisions should the business take or will the business take? Sell assets for cash to reduce existing loans. The business could sell their assets instead of going to take a loan from the bank. Or, because now that the interest rate has increased, the interest you have to pay will increase. Banks will readjust your interest rate, so you pay more interest, right? So for you to pay more interest, you would rather sell your asset to pay off the loan. Do you understand what decision I'm talking about here? The business will take a decision so as not to incur more cost on interest to sell one of their assets or their assets to be able to pay off the loan that they won't be paying any interest. That's a business decision. Is it clear? Yes. 2, reduce investment so future growth will be less. Businesses will not invest. They will just stop investing at that point in time. So these are the 2 decisions you could take if interest rate increases. 1, sell an asset to pay off the loans you have. 2, stop investment. You don't invest further, you stop for that period of time. But these things have an opportunity cost, which is what we call the consequence, right? 1, the assets might be needed for expansion in the future. Those assets you are selling to pay off the loan, you might need them again in the future. Do you understand? 2, other companies might still grow, reducing your own market share. Because you stopped investment, because you have stopped investment as a business, other businesses did not stop. They continue more investment, they expanded, they're going to make more money, they're going to make more output, but your output has reduced. So they're going to have more market share than yours. Do you understand? So these are the consequences of you taking that decision. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Any question about it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now, monetary policy. Monetary policy is one of those policies government produce to influence the economy. So for monetary policy, what is a monetary policy? A monetary policy is the use of interest rate or money supply to control or to manipulate the economy. So look at what I wrote. I wrote, it is the use of interest rate and money supply to manipulate the economy. What is interest rate? Interest rate is the price paid on savings or borrowing. So when you make deposits to the bank, I don't mean your savings account, a fixed deposit account. When you make deposits to that account, you won't be able to withdraw until maturity. So the bank will pay you interest on that. That's what we mean by the interest rate. So the interest rate of the country, what the government has said that the interest rate is what you will be paid on. So if the government of the country states that the interest rate is 2%, then whatever you have saved as a deposit into that bank, you get 2% on it. It depends on what the government says about it. Is it clear? Yes. Sit down, so what are the effects of higher interest rates? So when there's an increase in interest rates, how does it affect the society or the economy? Number one, firms will have to pay more interest on loan, which increases their costs. Firms that have taken loans already, they have to pay more interest rate because as soon as the interest rate is charged or has been adjusted, the banks that you've taken money from will also readjust your interest on loan. Do you get it? Yes. You have taken the loan. Stop that, please. You have taken the loan from the bank. You have taken the loan, you are paying interest. If the government of the country increases the interest rate, the bank will readjust your interest rate. So your interest rate will rise. What you pay. Is it clear? Yes. 2. Managers may delay decisions about expansion. Expansion needs finance, yes or no? Yes. Or if your source of finance is through external finance like the bank loan, now that the interest rate has increased, as a manager, you might delay that decision to expand the business because when you take that money from the bank, it's going to be too expensive for you to pay back. Do you get what I'm saying here? Expansion needs you to source for finance, and if one of the source of finance is through external finance, which is through the bank loan, now that the interest rate has increased, it will be difficult for you to want to borrow. So as a manager, because the manager decides the running of the business, right? So as a manager, because of interest rate increase, you might delay the projects you have in terms of expansion. You might delay it. Do you get it? So if the business delays expansion, it's going to even affect employment opportunity. Yes or no? Yes. That's what we're talking about here. Is it clear? Yes. The third one. Consumers with mortgage loans will have to pay more interest on loans, which reduces their disposable income. Those consumers that have taken a mortgage loan, that means loan on property. Do you understand mortgage loans here? Loan on private property. So when you take this loan, now that the government of the country has increased the interest rate, it has to be readjusted also. So you pay more interest, which means your disposable income will fall. Because whenever you get your real income, you pay your taxes, you pay the interest on loans. What is left for you is what you can save or spend. Well, now that the interest rate has increased, what you can save or spend will reduce. Do you understand what we mean by reducing disposable income? Is it clear, please? The fourth one, higher interest rates will encourage more savings, and foreign banks and individuals will deposit in banks of in such country. If the government of this country increase the interest rate, it means you will be encouraged to save more. Yes or no? Foreign banks will come to your country to save because they will get higher interest rates. Do you know that banks can come into this? Foreign banks can come into Libya to save in Libya if the interest rate of Libya is high. They will bring money to save here.
But there's it's not that much.
Yeah, we're saying if it increases.
Yeah.
So it can be a source of investment for them. Is it clear?
You know, the GDP.
The interest rates, does it really affect the GDP? Yes, it affects the GDP because if there's investment opportunity, if there's more investment, the output of the country will rise. And if your output increases, your national income will increase, your GDP will increase. Is it clear? Now go to the third policy that government could use, which is supply side policy. For supply side policy, it simply means how to make firms be more efficient. Do you get it? How to make firms be more efficient. So how do they make firms be more efficient? Look at what I wrote. These are policies government use to improve the efficiency of firms. Examples of supply side policies are: 1.